Hello, teachers in grades 4 through 8, ELA and math. This is a quick video to review how to access your teacher level value added reports and which reports to take a look at. So last night, or early this morning, EVOS had sent an email to you. If you completed roster verification last spring, you should have received this email. I had to search for mine. It was not in my regular inbox. It came from EVOS support, and the subject was EVOS Individual Teacher Value Added Reports. When I clicked on that, it takes you to a fairly long email, and about halfway down the email, there is the link to get to the EVOS website, and below that is your username. You'll want to copy your username, and you can either click that link or start typing this website on a new tab. When you get to this website, it's going to ask you for that username, so that's why I recommend copying it and pasting it. Because it is case sensitive, and if you have any periods between your name or however they have created your username, mine had, I think, a 33 after it. I copy and paste it, and then try your password if you remember what it is. After maybe one or two attempts, and it's not working, if it doesn't work, click the forgot username or password. It will, after I think it's 3 attempts, will lock you out. So if the password doesn't work, just use the forgot username and password. Once you are successful in the username and password, you'll see a green go button. You may have actually 2 green goes. One might say school and one might say teacher level. For this purpose of this, you want to click the teacher level green go. And before you can view any of your reports, you will get a security message that comes up that says you need to enter your state ID. So you can find that on the back of your or on the front of your teaching license. And if you don't have access to your teaching license, you can also do a search in Google. If you go to Educator Search and Ohio Department of Education, it'll take you to where you can enter enough information to recover your state ID. So I'm going to leave the PowerPoint and go to the EVOS screen. So again, you may see 1 green go circle or 2. And you won't have to do these next steps. This is a demo account, so it's going to ask me to select one of these schools. So I'll just choose anchovy and let me go to, you won't have to do this step either. Let me do a teacher search and just let's pick George right here. Okay, so when you get to your teacher value added report, you will probably be taken to your 3-year composite screen. This will show you your multi-year average from all value-added subjects. This is what is used for OTES. So in this example of this demo teacher here, the growth index was a negative 1.24. Anything less than -1 but not -2 falls into the orange. Anything more than negative or less than -2 is red. Anything between -1 and +1 is in that gross standard range of yellow. More than +1 but not +2 is considered light green, and more than +2 in the index is dark green. Below will list all of your years. Again, this is a demo account, so this is 2022 through 2024. And down below, again, is an explanation of what the colors mean. And so you can review that, as well as a list on the right side of the state of Ohio, the distribution. So this is just the overview page. This doesn't provide you much more than, again, a snapshot of your 3-year, multi-year composite for all value-added subjects. What you can do from here is click on a few things. You could either go to your teacher value-added summary. You can also click on a specific subject. So if I want to look at my most recent kids, last year's kids, And let me just choose the English Language Arts here. Clicking on that link will take you just to that subject area. And again, it'll show you your 3 years of that subject area. And down below, it'll list each one. So this is one of the 2 subjects. I can always go back using the back arrow, and I can choose the other subject. So in this case, the teacher has both English Language Arts and Math, and can look at, again, just that subject. Now you'll notice there's a few things you can do here. There's the graph, there's the student list, there's the teacher diagnostic, and so I'm going to click on that. That will show you how the students were grouped based on achievement and how that achievement group compared to the rest of the state. I want to mention on all of these reports that green line represents the gross standard, and it's always a 0 because the expectation and value added is that students move as much as the students like them in the state. So a difference would be a difference of 0 if they stayed with the students like them. So that's why that gross standard green line always says 0. I do want to also point out that you can see which students were in each achievement group, and they are placed in their achievement group using their previous achievement data. It could also let you see if anybody was not used because of they had 45 absences and were extracted, or if they had missing test data. Maybe they came in from another state and they didn't have last year's data, or the previous year's data rather. Also on here, if this whisker line is completely above, so this represents one standard error and 2 standard errors, and if you hover over it, it will tell you. So if this solid whisker line is completely above, that means they had not more than expected growth, that they performed above the growth standard compared to the rest of the students like them. There was evidence that they had more than their expected growth. And if this whisker line is crossing, it means they have expected growth. And if it's below, they have, again, they compared to the growth standard and the students like them, they did not meet that growth standard. There is another feature here called Teacher Custom Diagnostic, which is helpful. So this, again, this time I'm on the mathematics report. It tells you up at the top. If you wanted to see how a group of, maybe your first group in the morning did, either your first period or your morning class did, you can go through and use last year's roster and make a custom report for that class only to see how maybe they did compared to a different class period or your afternoon class, and you would just hit create. I also want to mention on both the teacher diagnostic and the custom diagnostic, there is a subgroup button. If you wanted to look at a specific subgroup, you can create a custom report for that subgroup, and it will show you just how that subgroup performed. I should mention you need at least 5 students for it to generate a bar graph. So you can see there's only 2 in this group. You can still click and see their names, but it will not generate the bar graph with only 2. To clear the subgroup, you just click the X. There are a lot of other reports you can view, and I just want to give you a snapshot of the different reports. So you can click on any of your tested areas and see how you did and how your students did compared to students like them. And again, you can always get back to a different report by clicking on the name of that report or using the back arrow. And again, to access any of these, you can click on the blue links that are listed next to each subject. And you can always navigate using the reports tab up here as well to some of the other student reports or comparison reports. All right, that is just a brief overview. If you would like support with your teacher report, there are 2 sessions offered on the early release day, November 22nd, and I am always available if you would like me to come during your planning time or to one of your teacher-based team meetings and go through a deeper analysis. I would be more than happy to do that, or a before school or after school workshop. I can do that as well. Okay, if you have any questions, please let me know.